once you get AIs that are massively smarter than we are, we're in a domain where we're not going to be able to predict what happens. That is scary, but it probably won't stop the singularity.
The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
2029, we get AIs as smart as people. By 2045, we have AIs boundlessly more intelligent. Whatever happens with the superintelligence, its mind state will be conditioned by the earlier AIs. What is AI mostly being used for on the planet Earth right now?
Drones, tanks, and automated gun machines could allow war to be fought on a scale greater and faster than ever before.
Selling, spying, killing, and gambling are the primary goals and values in the mind of the first superintelligence. I mean, we're not setting the best example in terms of the way human society is being regulated right now, nor the way we treat non-human life forms on the planet. What if the AI treats us the way we treat less intelligent animals? We want them to be more compassionate to us than we are to each other. The attitude of wanting to foster connectivity of all sentient beings is quite important. If we can get that attitude into our super AIs, we're going to be a lot better off. I want people to start deeply thinking and to start learning and studying and to be figuring out how they can best contribute, just as I've done in my own life. They live in interesting times. It'll be even more interesting. You know, if you talked about general intelligence or building machines that could think like people or building Mr. Data from Star Trek, you would get laughed out of the seminar room in a university. So that the AI work that was going on was real and it was making advances, but it was not ambitious compared to the broader scope of AI that you'd see from science fiction or Hollywood movies. Now, in the last 5 years, things have changed dramatically, right? I mean, narrow AI that can do highly specific things for certain applications. Narrow AI is everywhere and it's key to every major company or government strategy. And AGI, artificial general intelligence, while not yet fully realized, it's taken seriously, right? You can give a seminar on it. You can even talk to a CEO about it, and they'll be thinking about like how will they adapt their business model as narrow AI gives way to AGI, right? So it's amazing the transformation that we've seen in the last 5 years regarding AI. And I think it's mostly just a few practical applications that have caught the public eye, and then that triggered a sea change in sentiment.
And those practical applications, is it like the robotic stuff?
Face recognition.
Face recognition.
Did a lot, right? Because then, I mean, not only can governments use it to surveil all their citizens, but I mean, you go on Facebook, you see, you know, everyone's picture is automatically labeled. Everyone can see that. It's there all the time, right? And I mean, autonomous driving, it's amazing. 10 years ago when I told people, you know, pretty soon all cars will be automated, everyone thought I was nuts, right? And then 2015, DARPA driving Grand Challenge, you saw cars and trucks driving themselves through the desert. Then the Urban Grand Challenge a couple years later, like all of a sudden, it became obvious. Everyone's like, well, yeah, of course, automated driving will happen. It's just a matter of time. So a few things like that. Face recognition, automated driving, then AlphaGo, Jeopardy, these things, everyone can observe the AI doing things they thought only humans would be able to do. And this seemed to have triggered a sort of global change of mind where people are now over the threshold and they've realized, well, if AI can recognize faces, drive cars, and play Go, what is the limit actually going to be, right? Which was obvious to me from like, I don't know, 1973 when I was 5 or 6 years old, right? But I guess if you don't have the right cast of mind, you need to see very palpable examples to understand what's going on.
Yeah, so this is exciting times right now. Or what's the famous Chinese proverb? May you live in interesting times.
May you live in interesting times.
And this is it right now.
My whole life has been interesting times in one way after another.
Right,
so,
but the next 10 years will be the most interesting time of your work, probably.
It'll be even more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, even after that will be even more interesting because we'll get brain plugins, and we'll fuse our minds with the super AI and get a trillion times human intelligence.
What are some of the scenarios that we've heard, and what's right and what's wrong in your opinion, just to start off in a general way for people that maybe haven't thought about this as much as you have?
I would say what people think about superintelligence, AI that's a billion or trillion times smarter than human beings, says more about the people doing the speculating than about the reality of what's going to happen. Because we're talking there about a future that we truly cannot predict in detail. There's an irreducible uncertainty, just in the same sense that a cockroach will have a hard time predicting who's going to win World War II. Like, I mean, once you get AIs that are massively smarter than we are, on a rational basis, we're in a domain where we're not going to be able to predict what happens. And what I see is, in Asia, where I've lived for 8 years, the predominant feeling and assumption is that AIs will be friends of humans and will help humans, and everything will come out well. Whereas in the US, the prevailing vibe has often been more paranoid, like, oh, the AIs are going to kill everyone, they're going to be the Terminator, they're going to take all our jobs, and we'll be left rummaging in the garbage or something. And I don't think this has to do with differing, like, rational extrapolations of technology to the future. It's just different emotional mindsets, because when you're dealing with the radical unknown, the most convenient thing is just to bring to it whatever your emotional bias is, whether it's cooperative as in Asia, or paranoid and adversarial as in much of the US, right? And